What if the solution to growing your business was about systems? Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Probert.
And hey, I'm Jonathan's co host, Laura DeFranco. Welcome to Systemized.
We're here to talk to successful entrepreneurs about the systems that helped them grow their business. It's what we wanted to know when we started ours, and it's what's going to help you build yours. And today, we're excited to welcome expert speaker Diane Hallman to the show. How's it going, Diane?
Good. Thank you for having me, Jonathan and Laura.
Great
Excited
to
to be
have you
here.
too. Before we get into it, let me tell you guys a little bit about Diane first. Diane is the founder of Simple Systems for Thriving and a business consultant for purpose-led small businesses and nonprofits. With an MBA in finance and executive leadership experience, she helps leaders simplify operations, strengthen strategy, and track what matters. Business growth doesn't require burnout. Diane implements practical systems that create calm, authentic abundance and sustainable revenue.
Oh my gosh, you had me at the system. You know, we like systems around here, right, Diane?
Yes.
There's this thing that I follow that this quote that goes, what you track grows. And so I love that you had tracking in your bio. I'm also very excited to be working with you on our upcoming expert collaborative book project. We'll be talking about that a lot more in other interviews, but it's just an honor to have you. I'm excited about today's topic.
Yes, I am so excited to be here and share the simple system with our listeners today, and really help them find their own formula, their own system for sustainable abundance and growth.
Well, let's get right into it. Can you explain that system for us? How did you implement it? How did it save time? How did it save your clients time or effort or money for that matter? Let's hear about it.
Yes. So when we talk about the simple system, it's really around first simplifying the chaos. As an executive in the nonprofit world, there is always so much coming at us. We were managing many different projects, and I was overseeing both development, strategic initiatives, and then financial systems on top of it. And what I realized is we really had to get efficient so that we could fulfill our mission within our community. And so going through all of our day-to-day operations, we started to look at where could we make things more efficient, reduce redundancy, and really simplify our efforts. And with that, we became much more efficient in responding to the environment that we were working in. We changed our mindset. We really brought in trauma-informed care to support not only our staff, but our clients and our community partners. And from there, we really started to make action steps that were purposeful and meaningful so that we could support the community in the ways that they need through housing insecurity, food insecurity, um, early education support, and all different types of training programs, including adult education, to support our local community's growth and sustainability. And the L part of this is really providing life integration to ensure that each person is supported in a holistic manner, and then really engaging into sustainability so that this can be um, for the long term. So as Laura just mentioned, every intentional step allows you to build that bedrock foundation so that you have something solid to stand on and create that impact in the world. So how have I applied that into my clients' work? I really sit with each CEO and listen to what she and her business is looking to build within their community. And, what I hear a lot of times is they're like, oh, I'm getting calls 24/7. My staff isn't knowledgeable enough to run the operation without me being present. Um, and helping them find those places of how do we create the environment where your employees can even be self-sufficient and they have the resources available to them in that moment so that they can function and be empowered to make the decisions as if they are your advocate. Because really, that's what your employees are. They're there to support your values, your vision, and your growth of your business. And we need to make sure that they have all the tools in place so that they can do that effectively.
Awesome. First question for us here. You kind of went a little fast for me on the acronym there. Can you just give a quick one or two words for each letter there
I
so we
was going to
can
say the same thing. Let's get that simple down one more time
yeah.
in this
All
summary
right.
form.
So S is for simplify.
Awesome.
I is for that intentional pause. M is for mindful capacity. P is for purposeful action. L is for life integration. And E is for energetic sustainability.
Love it.
Awesome. And so how do you start implementing these with a client or in a new business? Are you doing it all at once, or do you start with simplify? Do you move into intentional pause after that? How would you recommend somebody starting actually do this?
So honestly, I start with a one-on-one interview with the CEO and hear where the friction is currently and what is keeping them from their goals and visions so that
Mm-hmm.
they can fully implement. And then we go through really from from a systematic standpoint and say, what is the biggest pain point today? And how can we find that intentional action so that you can, you can meet your business goals?
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where the business is and what the problem is, we may need to change even the mindset of the CEO, especially the women that I speak to that feel they have to carry all of the responsibility themselves. Because that belief is what holds us back. We become that depleted overgiver when all we're doing is pouring in energy and we're not taking that intentionality to restore our own well-being, giving ourselves that time and space to be visionary leaders that we are. If you're the one that's doing everything from the front desk work to scheduling the appointments to cleaning the toilet, you don't leave yourself much time to be a visionary. So just even helping them, we go through in the mindful capacity component of the work, we really talk about what is holding you back from an overgiving perspective. What is your belief system of how you have to support your business? So is that I'm responsible for everything, or I need to I need to know every single detail that's occurring within my business and say yes or no. Is there anything that you can delegate or systemize so that that burden is reduced and that you are ensured that your staff, your managers, your directors are fulfilling the goals that you want to see set forth so that you can step away. So we really talk around all of those components of what is draining your energy so that you, the CEO, have all the capabilities and functionality so that you can really lead your business and really help empower your staff so they can fulfill their role and responsibility in an efficient manner and they feel good about their work. The other thing and I just want to talk about capacity one more second there is I hear CEOs do this often. They're like, oh, well, my manager, Jane, I'll just give her more of this work. And I have to say, pause. I want you to hear what you're saying. And what is Jane's, we even go into what are Jane's skill sets? Where does Jane shine? So that we're setting Jane up for success, because Jane's success also means that the business is going to thrive. And we have to look at her workload and be like, all right, well, can we delegate off hers? If she's the face of the organization, if she's the one making the connections, then we don't want her sitting behind a computer for 8 hours a day and not maintaining the relationships with your clients. Those types of discussions, so we can be thoughtful of how you're allocating your resources in the most effective way possible so that everybody feels fulfilled and uplifted and engaged in the work. And then those purposeful actions are around what is the most important things that need to be done and who in your organizational structure should be doing those tasks so that they all get done. And there's a communication tool between all the staff members so we're not duplicating efforts. If I go back to the simple thing of who swept the lobby, you know, there's a reason fast food restaurants have the sign on the back of the bathroom door. When was the bathroom cleaned? By who and at what time? That's it's so simple, but it reduces so much friction because now you know the task was done, who it was done by, and when it was completed. So you don't even have to text. You don't have to instant message. None of that. All right. I know who's doing it, when it's done, and how it was done. Um, and and I really truly believe in this life integration to ensure that not only the CEO, but their entire staff is receiving the support they need to be successful in the workplace. So just really having those conversations to ensure that the capacity of the staff member, do they need additional training? Do they have the time within their schedule to complete all the tasks in the appropriate manner? Is there a place where we can systemize anything from payroll processing to um, including bringing clients in, onboarding clients, you know, all of those components depending on their individual business to make sure that the people that are doing the work are whole, because that'll allow your staff to be really present with your clients and also help your business to thrive and grow.
Definitely. Yeah, I think, did you have a question, Mom, or did she
Oh,
answer it there?
I was writing and writing and writing as you were talking, so many different things. So many great things, but a couple of ahas. You know, if you don't ask yourself what your belief systems are, this is what you were talking about. What are your belief systems about how you think you have to support your business? We all go into this with the way we know we're supposed to do it, but I hadn't even heard that. And, just I'm a mindset geek, honestly. And so when you said that, I'm like, oh, the way Laura thinks she has to do this, I really have to question that. Like, how do I even believe that? And what could be tweaked that could really, really benefit my team? And then the other thing about, how can we incorporate systems so that my team can easily be self-sufficient? That one I put a little star next to, because if they can get to the stuff and I don't have to be involved, and then they're happy because they easily found it, they could do their task, all good, right? Like I felt that in my body, actually. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, this is going to be good. And then communication tool. So this is a struggle point for us sometimes.
Mhm.
We've got people all over the world. We're all doing different things. And I think I even told my team the other day, my worst trigger, you guys, is when two people do the same job and there was no communication. Oh, there's some balloons for that one. So, like, yeah, we have to have those ways of communicating so everyone knows what everyone else is doing, right? I loved all of that, Diane.
So the ones tool that I've implemented with clients and they've seen significant success. I'm not affiliated with them, but we do definitely use Trello. So what's nice about things like the Trello board is you can actually create those checklists and have everybody log in. You know, it's very similar to the Microsoft tasks, but what I like about the Trello boards is it can really store a lot of information in a very small spot. You know, if you're talking about logistics in a brick and mortar store, you can put your whole checklist in and what role, what job description is supposed to be doing that. And then they can just check off the information and everybody can see that. If you're in this electronic world, like a digital creator world, it's a really beautiful tool so that if the Trello board is there, you can take your graphic designer can put their part of the project there. Your content writer, they can put their part of the content there. And you can still keep the system going where everything is in one place and it's consistent. It's a rinse and repeat model. So we've definitely seen a lot of benefits for a Trello board or something similar to that place.
Definitely. And I think a lot of this is very, very like what am I thinking of here? Uh it's all very simple. It's just that a lot of people are way too in their business to actually think about it and it goes over their heads, right? You wouldn't if you're for too far in, you're not really going to have the time to go and think, hey, am I really supposed to be doing these things and who do I give it to and who do I make sure or how do I make sure it's done correctly, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I
And
find that you're using the term we're in the business. You know, when you're sitting in your yard and you're looking at the actual roots of your grass, you're not seeing the full picture. Like you're just in this little microbe trying to figure out how to make that grass grow instead of being that visionary and kind of pulling back and saying, "Oh, I see how all of these things are affecting each other."
mhm,
And you just get so micromanaging is
yep,
what my experience has been because you're so passionate about your business. And and I
exactly.
hear this out of CEO's mouth often, especially small businesses, brick and mortar, that, oh, my employees just don't care as much as I do. Well, they if they wanted to be an entrepreneur, they probably would have been. So they don't have the same mindset you do. That's okay. We need to find where their passion is and why are they showing up for work every day so that we can really empower them and get them excited to help you move to the next level.
Definitely. Say definitely a working in versus working on the business kind of, look there.
Yes.
Definitely a hard thing to get into it. I've done my own like systems work with that and trying to help people in the same way. I think one last follow-up question here is if you could give somebody a list of simple questions to ask about each letter of simple, um, could you give one of those us to give one of them for each letter for us here? So, do you have
Mhm.
a question for you or for a CEO to ask themselves or ask about an employee? Like, how do I do simplify for me or an employee, and then go into each letter for us here. Make it very,
Sure.
very easy to answer. Make it like a journaling question.
Right. So when we talk about simplify, it's reduce what feels heavy, what feels really heavy to carry right now.
I love that,
Perfect.
Diane. Like that, because you guys know I keep saying like I can feel it in my body. So like when you say what feels heavy, like I'm making the list. I can already Yeah, feel that.
Right.
Awesome. What about
And then,
intentional pause?
so where do you need to pause before you respond? So you reduce that reaction time period and you really take the moment to step back and see what's going on. So where do you need to pause before you react?
Awesome.
Love
And
it.
then for M, we're talking about mindful capacity. So what is necessary to protect your energy?
Another really important one.
Yes, because your energy is what you can produce. And when you're depleted, it's really hard to reach your goals. So you have to be very mindful of your energy levels and what you're putting out. For purposeful action, what is the next most aligned action? And then for life integration, how do you support your whole self, your entire self? And E, how do you stay resourced for the long term? Laura, you look confused. So how
No,
do you
just
stay resourced? So,
yeah, I'm loving these. Not
okay.
confused. Not confused. How do you support your entire self? I think what I wanted to slow down there for people because, you know, a long time ago, I realized that work life balance is kind of a myth. Like my life is my life,
Yes.
and it includes a business.
Yes.
And so, what's going to support my entire self is you said clean the toilets, might be a housekeeper,
Right.
right? It's so like when you look at that whole life, it's like, what do I need to
Mhm.
support me here doing all the things I'm doing? But yeah, you just got me thinking about it.
Well, especially as women, we tend to have to carry the responsibility of our home life, maybe our children and our families. Um, I have a lot of middle-aged women clients that are now supporting their aging parents. That also falls on their shoulders. So we have these conversations around, yes, your business is extremely important, but so are you. And if you want to be present, and when I say present, I mean really present, so that I am not in my head thinking about the million things that need to happen, but I can actually sit with my mother or my daughter and engage in a conversation so that I can really create that connection with the people I love. Um, when we talk about whole self, where is your hydration and your meal planning so that you're not grab and go fast food all the time? Because I know that it happens. You're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to eat today. Here, let me just run in here and grab this sandwich. But then you don't feel good because you're eating it under stress. A lot of time you're eating it in your car and you're not even chewing or enjoying it. It's just and you're done. But trying to create that whole life where all of the aspects that you need to feel fulfilled and whole are being addressed. Because the reality is, when we don't take care of our whole selves, that's when you start to see the chronic illness, and our bodies will start to break down and give us warning signs that you need to rest. So you're, it's easier and much less expensive energy wise, finance wise, dream wise, to be more mindful and connecting with yourself to ensure that you're completely supported as every day.
Yeah, fantastic on all of that, all of those fronts. I love talking about systems in this particular way that you've outlined it today. This has been powerful. Of course, We love learning about new systems. We love sharing about different kinds of ways to think about systemizing. And it's so cool to be thinking about this in terms of like whole life and in integration. So we've got kind of a next question for you, a little bit more businessy, but the entrepreneurial journey can be challenging at best, right? What's the most important business building tip you want to share with our audience today?
I believe the most important is, I'm going to take it right back to where you started the conversation, Laura, is to understand your values and what is important to you. Because what happens, and I know I've fallen into these traps many times, we may have a mission statement, but when we aren't sure about our values, so do I care about customer service? Do I care about, ensuring that my products look nice? What do I care about? What do I value? Is honesty the first thing I care about? Is it integrity? Because those values around compassion and credibility and connection will drive every decision that you make going forward. And it'll determine how exactly you're going to allocate your resources, your time, your effort, your energy. You'll deploy your employees a different way. But when you understand your values as a CEO and you make sure that your employees understand and buy into those values, now the entire organization can lift.
All right, Diane. Oh my gosh, I hope y'all heard that wonderful wisdom. We like to close with this one last question for you. One of our goals here is to really support our fellow entrepreneurs in their businesses to get to that goal of that time freedom, the lifestyle they want to live. What has being an entrepreneur done for you, or what has it allowed you to do that maybe you wanted, or maybe even was unexpected, something you didn't see yourself doing?
I'll be honest, this has been such an amazing journey for me. This Simple Systems for Thriving has opened up so many doors, and I've had the opportunity to meet an amazing women around the world and really connect around their stories. Um, as you mentioned earlier in our interview, I have joined Brave Healer to create a collaborative expert collaboration. But with that, I get the opportunity to help myself and others share their wisdom and really create a positive ripple effect in the world. And from a personal perspective, I I'm able to take care of myself. So I've structured my days and my work pacing to a place where my well-being is just as important as my business growth. So I find, I make sure that I have both sides of that scheduled so I'm not in that urgency and rushing all the time, which depletes energy. So it's really been a beautiful journey for myself.
That's great. We love to hear that. That's definitely a good thing that as entrepreneurs we are able to, structure our days in the ways that support us, right? Instead of the bombardment of a 9 to 5, having to get there and do everything when you're told to do it. Definitely a big plus there. But Diane, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here to share with us today. Before we go, we're going to let you get the chance to shout yourself out. So let the people know what you're up to, where to find you, and all that. Go for it.
So my name is Diane Hallman. I'm the CEO of Simple Systems for Thriving. You can find more information on my website at simplesystemsforthriving.com. I'm also the author of Nurturing Wisdom with the Simple System. This book is available on Amazon. It is a short 100-page book, but it will really help you delve into where you can create a life that you love. Even if you're not in business, this is really for women that are looking for support through transition. Additionally, I I host a women's simple wisdom symposium where I gather a number of experts and they provide their wisdom in 20-minute talks, and that is hosted on Facebook. So once again, you can find me on simplesystemsforthriving.com. And if you're interested in seeing where your abundance capacity is, there's a little bottom there that you can take a short quiz and it'll give you some guidance on how to increase your capacity for abundance.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard Diane. You can find her links in the description. Also, if you're interested in implementing AI systems into your business, please feel free to grab a free discovery call with me, which will help you get started systemizing your business.
You guys, I'm excited about these discovery calls I've had with Jonathan. Please grab one. We're going to help you understand where to actually do a couple of the things Diane mentioned today. Get efficient. I love what you said, simplify the chaos. So grab a session. You're going to really enjoy learning from Jonathan about how you can get to that time freedom again.
Okay, guys, that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. And remember, for epic business growth, get systemized.